Hello, everyone. So lately, I've really been rethinking how I structure my reselling side business. For the longest time, I just would go thrifting and kind of focus on volume, and I don't want to do that anymore. So I've decided to focus more so on maybe higher investment, but also higher return items, even if they do take a little bit longer to sell. I decided to try sourcing from Japanese auction sites for the first time. Here's what I picked up and what I learned. I have been putting off filming this video for so long, and I don't even know why. I'm still figuring out my filming setup, so that's probably a huge part of it. Is this? Yes, this is on. So I've accumulated a lot of inventory over time that I just don't know what to do with. To me, it's not really even worth it at this point. It's more clutter. I kind of went ham when I first started reselling and just went to like a ton of thrift shops, and I was just buying inventory without even really making sure I was selling enough to warrant buying more. So now I have about like 6 plastic bins worth of clothes that don't fit anywhere in my apartment and I don't feel excited about. It would sell eventually, but to me, the return just isn't worth the time investment. I've been thinking lately just kind of how valuable my time actually is. I want to curate more intentionally and choose pieces that I genuinely enjoy and kind of build a system that feels good to run. So I'm gonna go through everything that I got with you guys. I had one bag sold already. That was a Coach Peyton mini satchel. I'm gonna show a picture of it. The rest of these, in total, I got 8 pieces, and 3 of those are Louis Vuitton. One is like kind of a old school brand, Lanvin, and I got 4 Coach bags total. So I'm gonna start with the Louis Vuitton. So this is the Louis Vuitton Alma. It's in actually very good condition. The patina you can see really is not very worn. Um, and it's just a very classic silhouette. People are constantly looking and searching for Louis Vuitton. The zipper works really well. All in all, I would say that this was a really great purchase. The next bag that I got was the LV Pochette. This is also, again, a very classic, kind of trendier silhouette. It's really in great condition. The I think a lot of the time with pochettes like these, you have to worry about the straps wearing down, especially in like older models. But the quality of this and the condition is wonderful. Then I got another classic. This is the Louis Vuitton Danube or Danube, I don't know, Danube. I'm gonna say Danube. And this again is a very classic crossbody silhouette. People are constantly looking for, you know, things like this. The quality again is really, really good. For my first time, I'm super happy with everything that I got. So then this one was kind of a surprise. I didn't even know what this brand was, but this is a Lanvin Paris. I think it's from like the 80s. Very, very good quality leather sort of work satchel, mini satchel again. This one was just something that I found for a really, I think it was like 300 yen or something, which is like $1.50. And I won it for that much. So I highly, highly recommend just looking and spending time. If you have an evening, just look and see what's on there. So then the next one that I picked up is the Coach Madison Madeline East West mini satchel. This one is super cute, more of a modern, kind of like Y2K style, but still like a classic Coach silhouette. People are constantly looking for Coach bags, especially like the vintage leather. This condition is great again. None of these really had any like issues in terms of condition. I also purchased this leather Coach hobo style. I don't know the exact style name for this one, but I bought this actually more so for myself. I wasn't even sure if I was going to sell it. I'm still not really sure. I probably will sell it. I don't really have like a good brown bag like this. Again, just very classic, um, everyday bag. Great condition. And then the last piece, this is the Coach Cora mini satchel. Um, this is really cute, two-toned. exterior, more of a miniature size. So it's a good like going out bag. If you're someone like me that doesn't like to carry a lot of stuff or can't carry a lot of stuff just for her mental health, this is a good bag. So one thing that made me really curious about sourcing from Japan in general is the differences in their reselling culture. There's like kind of a stronger emphasis, I'd say, on like very specific grading and like condition transparency. They have like I think they have like a tiered system. So items are usually categorized like very specifically and they'll be very accurate in their description. And then I would say also in general, like there's more of a tendency just to emphasize like taking care of your belongings. And so because there are more like well taken care of secondhand items, in general, they do tend to be a little bit less like more inexpensive in that market. So that doesn't like eliminate risk, but it definitely, I think you have a lower risk of like buying a counterfeit item, for example. To access the auctions, I used a proxy service, and there are a ton of different sites that do this. You can look this up anywhere. Just like there's eBay in the US, there's eBay Japan, there's Yahoo Auctions. So the way that these sites work is they will basically compile all of those like auction listings into one site, and you can bid on those listings locally through their service, and they'll place a bid on your behalf. And so if you win the bid, they will have that product shipped to their warehouse in Japan, and then they'll like process and package everything, and then they'll ship it internationally to you. If you do go this route, the biggest thing to research and to really look out for are those extra fees. Some sites will like just have like a flat rate fee, but in my experience, I was a little caught off guard by how much those fees were. I think it was also like I ordered kind of around the holidays, so it was like an active time of the year. They ended up being like maybe $100 more than I had anticipated. And then you also have to factor in your customs fees as well. So for all the bags that I ordered, that was about another $100. So really factor all of that in, especially if you're aiming for like a really sustainable return on investment. Another fee or another consideration, obviously, is that these sites are not going to guarantee that you're buying an authentic product. So I do find it worth it to invest in your own authentication from a third party company before you try to sell it, especially if it's like a higher luxury item. Platforms like Poshmark or eBay, they will always, if it's I think above like $500, they'll automatically authenticate that item. So you always kind of want to have your own documentation, just to avoid like disputes going forward if that's something that happens. It's always just good to have that, and then that way you can always list confidently, and you can also price a little bit higher with more confidence. So going forward, I'm factoring authentication into the cost now. I'd rather invest, like I said, in higher return on investment items and pieces that maybe sit a little bit longer, but I'm more excited about them, trying to shift towards higher margin, lower volume, um, which I think is a lot more sustainable for me. I've realized that if your system does not feel sustainable, it will collapse eventually. And that's kind of what happened to me, is that once I moved to my new apartment, like I just don't have anywhere to put all of this old inventory. And it's really a huge energy suck and a time suck when you just have this stuff sitting around that you know that you should list, but in the end, it's not even really worth it. So for me, sustainable means being more intentional in how I choose the items that I want to sell, and really just enjoying the process of curating and preparing and selling the item. Like that is part of the process that I enjoy. I haven't authenticated the Louis Vuitton bags yet. I really feel very confident that they're not like counterfeit, but like I said, always a good idea to do. Keep you guys updated on that, and I'll let you know what sells, what doesn't sell, what I learn going forward. I might do some videos just kind of like reorganizing my inventory, getting rid of old stock items that I just don't think are going to sell. Ideally, I would really like to focus on sort of luxury bags and maybe jeans going forward, because I have a lot of jeans. I have way, way, way too many jeans. If you're interested in reselling systems, strategy, small business, subscribe, leave a comment below if you have any questions, and I'll be documenting as I learn. I'm not an expert. I'm just going to keep going. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. Thanks for watching.